Backlash. Christy, who's Keith Lee?
He is a social media influencer and food critic, and also a former MMA mixed martial artist.
Oh, he ain't playing games. Ladies and gentlemen, this came across our desk and we're going to make a video on it real quick. It's crazy. It's sad, y'all. Basically, Keith Lee is a TikToker. He does music. He does food reviews and he's very popular on TikTok. His YouTube's about 50K, but he's more popular on TikTok with over, 15 million subscribers, I think, or whatever, followers.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was 15. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so y'all, he got backlash for being in Atlanta, right? Atlanta was mad at him because I guess, some people, you can't critique them, okay? And we'll leave it at that. But he was mad about it. They're mad at him in Atlanta. My wife said they're giving him death threats and everything. And I believe he's probably a good guy, maybe even a Christian and a food critic. Christy, I'm going to play this video and we're going to go ahead and start from here. We got 2 TikToks we're going to watch. This is the first one where he got the major backlash from because he had a Bay Area tour and he basically pulled out because, let's be honest, y'all, it's probably unsafe, dangerous as hell. And that's just the honest truth. And I think he said there's places that, he couldn't release the content. It was too damn, bad. Let's continue.
Right.
I appreciate every single bit of love. The people of the Bay were absolutely, unfortunately, the Bay Area stop on the Keith Lee and family food tour is officially over prematurely, and we're gonna get straight into it. Let's talk about it. There are a few reasons why, as a family, we decided to end the food tour short. But before I get to that, I truly want to say from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single bit of love. The people of the Bay were absolutely amazing, and I'll never forget the hospitality and the love that y'all showed me. Reason number 1, I truly don't believe the Bay is a place for tourists right now, and that's what I was, a tourist. The people in the Bay are just...
Let's break that down. The Bay is not a place for tourists. That's kind of a code lingo for stay the hell away if you ain't from around this way. Would you agree, Christy?
I don't want to go to California for any reason.
Me neither. But besides that fact, though, let's be honest, y'all. LA, South Central, the Bay. Shout out to everybody out there. But we know it's grimy, it's hood, and it's hella dangerous.
Yeah, and I think his exact quote was the other reason behind his abrupt departure. He talked about the safety of the Bay Area as a tourist destination, and that it was not safe for his family or for him to be there. So
it's a no-go.
You got a mixed martial artist that doesn't want to go there, and his stats are not bad. Like, he had 8 knockouts, he only had 5 losses. So I mean, yeah, and you don't want to be there. Yeah, there's a reason.
Let's continue.
Are just focused on surviving. That's the business owners, the locals,
Hold on, see what he said.
And living structures.
My wife made a comment when he said this.
That's what I was, a tourist. The people in the Bay are just focused on surviving. That's the business owners, the locals. The amount of tents and living structures and burnt up cars that we saw people living in was shocking to say the least. Before we went, people was comparing it to Gotham City. Now, I might not agree, but I understand where it's coming from. But I can't harp on it enough that the people are amazing. It's just an environment. And as an outsider, I wish the city would step in. I don't know if they have. I don't know if they've been trying. But just from
they ain't gonna step in. It's probably a Democrat-ran city. Not trying to get political, but let's be honest. It's in California, run down. We've seen videos. Yep. I dropped one last night. The guy's running through South Central. Homeless tents, tent city everywhere, y'all. Let's just call a spade a spade. Salute Keith Lee. I think he's a nice guy, maybe too nice. My wife said he's a great guy. He can, he has a lot of influence. But I'm gonna be honest, y'all. We don't hold back. California is in rough despair, disarray, and it's hella dangerous. Let's continue.
Outside looking in, it don't seem like it was much city interference. Reason number 2, and this is in no particular order, we went to a lot of restaurants, popular restaurants, not popular restaurants, mom and pop shops, and this is the first city where I have over 6 videos that I don't feel comfortable with posting because nothing about my experience was constructive and nothing that I said was constructive. I've always been big on honesty, I've always been big on transparency, but I've never been big on completely tearing down anybody, and I feel like those 6 videos only doing that. And I've always said I'm absolutely blessed to do this, but it does take a lot of money, it does take a lot of resources to do. At the moment, everything comes out of pocket, so when we had that many restaurants that we couldn't do anything with, that was just another deciding factor.
Big time L failure. Come on, y'all. Content creators, guys, I can only imagine him, right? But, you make a video, you put time and effort in it, and it goes nowhere, or God forbid, he went and shot 6 videos and he couldn't even post them. Guys, that means it was he had a trash experience, and I'm going to say this because I think he's taking it kind of lightly. He had bad service, bad food, a bad experience, and he don't want to say it. Christy and me kind of disagree about this, I would say, but I think that he's being too soft. He should let it rip. Christy said that she thinks he does let it rip, but I don't think he does so. But even my wife said, what? He has a lot of power. He can tear down these companies with one video. Christy, your thoughts? Do you think that he's kind of being kind of more softer on this approach and not calling these companies out?
If it was that nasty and it would get a mom and pop shop shut down, maybe that was
Good
just
point.
his own discernment with that. But if you go back and watch old videos that like I did on him, like that I've watched on him, I mean, he gives, when I say honest, like reviews that kind of like you and I are, we call a spade, just like you said. I mean, he'll tell you quick, trash, nasty,
Okay.
like wouldn't do it again. Maybe, because of the area that he was in, he just didn't want to cause more damage to those businesses that are open. But I think he's pretty honest about everything.
I'll say this, it's the Bay. Okay, Atlanta, he got threats of violence and all that for his opinion and his critiquing of the food. It's the Bay. My wife even said she wouldn't probably want to say nothing either, with the kind of threats that he could receive from, a city or an area such as the Bay. Let's be honest. Hold on. Let's continue.
And another thing, I was just going to say, another thing is, Atlanta also, it has its really dirty and grimy areas too. It's not all. Yeah, we know what happens right outside of Atlanta. I'm firsthand living experience of that. But I think maybe he has softened a little bit, but he never was in his beginning videos. He called it exactly like it was.
Let's continue.
The most important, I had to go to the hospital because I had an allergic reaction to one of the meals I had. This restaurant in particular cooked a plethora of meats, including shellfish. My family specifically asked if they cooked it on the same grill. They said yes, but they would clean it. The second I ate it, I blew up like a balloon. I had to get some steroids and some allergy medicine, and it cleared right up. But it was a health concern nonetheless, and that was another reason why we decided to go home. I also think the Bay wasn't the target audience for what it is that we do. 90% of restaurants that the locals said had great food was already booming, and the people from the Bay are a loyal community. So if your food is good, the line gonna be out the door already. And then again,
interesting. So that's kind of what my wife said too. He really don't go to, places that are like this, right? Like they already have people out the door. And he said that's not the, man, he said a lot here. He said he got food poisoning. But let's continue, y'all. Wow.
Again, we went to some of those restaurants and I wasn't a huge fan. And even if I did like all of the food at the busy spots, that's never been my MO to just go to busy spots. So those are the reasons why we decided to cut it short. But nonetheless, some amazing things did happen while we were there. Chef Green's was one of the restaurants that I went to, and he had a news segment the day after we left. God is amazing. Mama T's also joined that category with a news segment the day after we left. God is amazing. And one of the places that we went that I didn't get a chance to post was a highlight of our trip. The name of it was Luxurious Cuisines. Customer service was absolutely amazing. And the food wasn't too far off of that. We went in as a family and we left for a $2,000 tip. So the trip itself wasn't all in vain. And again, I appreciate every single person that I met. I want to stress, it is not normal for us to go to restaurants, not like it, and not post it. Any other time we ran into the situation, I've always had some kind of constructiveness to say, this was just different. And again, I'm always going to be transparent. I'm always going to be honest. Thank you again to everybody in the Bay Area. We'll be headed to the next spot soon. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe.
Okay, I'll say it because he didn't want to say it, but basically, y'all, this guy canceled the tour, okay? He went to the Bay. It wasn't what he thought. Hey, it was dangerous. He has a family. He couldn't create content. He got food poisoning. I mean, come on, dude. I think he's saying it kind of lightly. We'll go to the next video. Chrissy, your thoughts real quick.
No, I just think that, I hope that he doesn't take from his experiences in Atlanta and stuff like that. I liked watching the true videos of him going to the mom and pop shops and things like that. I don't care about a local review of Chili's. I'm talking about these little off beaten, holes in the wall restaurants. And he would just give honest, sometimes savage reviews.
Yeah.
And I hope he doesn't veer from that, because one of his big things is almost kind of like we do, Nino, that, we want to be transparent and always just give true content. And I hope that he continues with that.
Well, I heard somebody else say that he has growing pains. He's getting so big now. He has so much power he's wielding that he can basically ruin a company. My wife said that sometimes they'll go leave Google reviews when he makes bad reviews, and he tells them, don't do that unless you actually went there. Why would you make a Google review, and you didn't even go eat there based off my opinion? You should have went there before damaging her Yelp reviews, right? But let's continue. Yeah. I want to point out one thing. All his videos are about 3 million, 6 million. He has a couple that are 20 million. This one with the Bay, the last one was 3.7. This new one that we're fixing to watch is only 470,000 views. So that kind of shows you, y'all, sometimes beef and drama don't always sell. Sometimes what really sells is just doing what you do. staying focused on that content, because again, his views are up there about right with the Bay Area stuff, but sometimes maybe the drama ain't necessary for someone this big. Let's be honest. We'll continue, y'all. Here's the video that he made to, I guess, respond, because he got a bunch of backlash. I didn't even look at the comments on the TikTok. We'll go to the next video. Check it out.
Hey, before you start it,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know if you heard him say that he left a $2,000 tip.
Yes.
On the last thing, but also one of the things I like so much is he is not one of the social media influencers that goes and gives reviews for free food. He insists on paying for, his entire meal. And I just think that's pretty awesome that he tips like he does.
Yeah, I agree.
I signed up to play 2 televised basketball games in the next 2 weeks. Let's talk about it. I talked about it before. I can hoop a little bit. I'm not the best.
Is that a video? Hold on. My bad, y'all. Oh, right here. The Bay Area.
My statements about our experience in the Bay Area have been misconstrued, so let's talk about it. I got this mask on because my allergies are still flared up. Number 1, we didn't leave because of violence. Not at one point did we feel threatened or scared. We didn't get ran out of nowhere. I gave a list of reasons of why we
He must say that because people are probably saying that
left early. And one of those reasons is because I said I don't believe the Bay is fit for tourists at the moment. And I said that specifically based on the spots that we had went to and the areas that we were in.
They are going to tear him up for this, sis. That's, you know what I'm saying? Him saying this, we already know how people are. They're going to tear him up for that.
I don't think any of the spots that we personally went to were conducive of a 5 to 6 hour wait time, especially with people coming directly off the plane. And when I say people, I mean tourists. I don't think they were conducive of coming straight off the plane and going and waiting to these lines.
Man, sis, I feel bad for this guy. He has to explain himself like this. Like, wow. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
As a tourist, I wouldn't wait outside 3 or 4 hours in any of those areas. Not to say people don't or people shouldn't. I just said, my personal opinion, it didn't seem conducive. And I believe that message is synonymous with the locals. Because before we went, a lot of people were stressing the conditions of the Bay at the moment. News articles, locals, people that I spoke to on a daily basis.
I saw they're telling him don't go. He's going to get set up. I don't know if they're going to play the screenshots of it, but they're telling him, says, do not come to the Bay, Oakland. They're bipping basically when they break into your car. It's not safe in the Bay, y'all.
Number 2, we went to a lot of cities. We didn't just go to Oakland and San Francisco. We went to 6 or 7 different cities. I didn't name those specific cities because there's only a few restaurants that were recommended from those cities. And if I named the specific city, people will be able to figure out what restaurant I went to and didn't enjoy the food, and they would go bully those specific restaurants.
Man, so he just didn't go to San Fran and Oakland, right? He went to multiple cities, and he did not shoot he did not keep no content to put on any platforms due to whatever it was that he, I'm not gonna say scared him away, but scared him away. Go ahead, sis.
No, and that's what he does, and that's what I think people need to know about him is he focuses attention on mom and pop restaurants suggested to him by his followers. So like they send him recommendations of where to go. He says that he tries to always stay away from like the big marketing, like Outback Chili's,
of course,
big places like that. Yeah, and so he goes to these mom and pops. But like one of the bad reviews that he gave is a New York pizzeria. He gave it a 4.4 out of 10 and gave it a pretty harsh review. And they said it was an iconic New York pizzeria. So, like, I guess it had been there for a long time. New Yorkers loved it. And he was like, no, I'm going to tell you the truth. It's a 4.4. So, he only goes to those places that people suggest for him.
Even off of just guessing. So I didn't want to put random restaurants at risk of being bullied and get negative reviews from people who've never been to that restaurant. But yeah, we went to other spots that wasn't Oakland, wasn't San Francisco. We went to the Bay. We went to trucks. We went to brick and mortars. We went to Michelin star restaurants. We went to a lot of places. And I personally wasn't a fan of a lot of places that we went to. And I said in the previous video, it was a point where I wasn't constructive. Now, if I don't like the food or if I don't like the customer service or I don't like the experience and I can still be constructive, I will be. And
Hold on. That sounds like a cop-out though. I mean, let's be honest, y'all. What's the point? He keeps using this word constructive, and I don't want to keep going long-winded. The video's already almost 13, 15 minutes. But guys, what does that mean, being constructive? Like, I mean, I would say let it fly, Christy. Like, tell the truth. Like, what's this walking around, not, or, how do I say, pussyfooting around the subject here? If it's bad, it's bad. I don't know. I say if they got bad service, bad food, air them out. Go ahead.
maybe it's because he went to those 6 places, and those 6 places were absolutely awful. So it was going to give nothing but a bad representation of the Bay Area.
See,
you know what I'm saying?
But I guess he's saying it in a nice way, right?
Oh, he's definitely saying it in a nice way. I mean, the way you and I would say it sucks, don't go.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the point
whatever,
is, I'm going to give him props. He's wise. He knows how much power he wields, and he can literally destroy or uplift a family-owned business for multiple 100, 10, 20, maybe 100-year-old restaurant. He could basically disintegrate him or uplift him. Go ahead.
He was he was in Forbes magazine 30 under 30 list.
Wow. Let's continue.
Yeah, I mean, he has the power like that you talk about, that he could probably shut down a business really, really quickly.
I've always been that. I've always been transparent with that. But this is the first time where I feel like I didn't have that, so I didn't do it.
Wow.
Number 3, I'm not a food influencer or a content creator. I'm Keith. A lot of people are implying that I don't do enough research or I should have a food tour guide when I go to these cities. I'm a normal person, and our food tour has been guided for normal people. It hasn't been guided for people who can reach out to the #1 food influencer of each city or a celebrity in each city that could be a personal tour guide for them. I want you, my mom, my family, and whoever else don't got 50 million followers to have a good experience in these places. And I'm not going to tell you I'm having an amazing experience only based on the perks that I get with having 50 million followers.
But I want to be very clear. I'm not saying I'm not tapped in or I don't do my research and watch the biggest food influencers of each city. I do a lot of research. I watch a lot of videos. And as of late with the last 2 stops, it just so happened that I have reached out to some people. But these are people that I genuinely respect and people that I actually want to meet in real life. Can I improve? Absolutely. Is there more research to be done? Absolutely. But do I feel like I should have to have a tour guide or the biggest celebrity or the biggest food influencer of each city to have an enjoyable time? No.
This is the last point that I'll touch on. Right now, we are in the research stage of doing a food tour. We are in the very beginning of the food tour. It literally just started 6 months ago. We are using this time to polish it and refine what it is that we do. So if we are blessed enough to have a TV show, we can know what works for us and what don't work for us. So that way, when we do go to these networks, we are solid in our foundation. So I can still authentically be myself, just on a bigger platform. And past all of that, I always say I'm a festival guy. I truly believe I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And if you disagree with me and you don't like me, I fully get that. And I'm not mad at you. I'm really not. Again, the people in the Bay were amazing. I'm going to say it again. It's unfortunate that my allergies flared up. But I never once looked at the entire trip to the Bay as a fail or a disappointment. And I would appreciate if these blogs and these media would stop saying I did. God bless you. Have an amazing day. I'll be safe.
Okay. So there he is, y'all. He didn't. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but you think about how many Californians try to bully us. You won't come to the Bay and say it to my face. Nope. You won't. How many times have we heard that
that's
stuff?
That's the main place, Chrissy. That's the main place that we get the threats from. Let's be honest, in California.
Yeah, absolutely. And
hey, so, I'm gonna tell you right now, Keith Lee, he better never come out with the MAGA hat on. That's all I gotta say. He better never say nothing about Trump. They go. It's over. But y'all,
he might be an MMA fighter, but yeah, you're coming against.
But he gonna lose it all. Yeah. I want to touch on one thing that he said. Networks he wants to show. I guess. Why would he want to go to a dying medium? I mean, YouTube, TikTok. This is where it's at. I told my wife when I saw this, who really watches TV nowadays? What's a good channel to watch or whatever? Are you even going to get a good deal and get to keep your content, keep your own, what if you sign a horrible deal? I don't know. But I hear him saying that he wants to go to a bigger channel, whatever. Bro, you're on TikTok on fire. You're on YouTube. You're YouTubing it. I mean, that's the route that I see people wanting to go, not wanting to go to TV into these, big corporation channels. I might be wrong, but I think that that's just kind of going the wrong way. He already got it made with his content and the way he's doing it. I would hope he monetize it better and make some moves to make some money, y'all. I mean, if you're on these platforms, you're making videos. I mean, I'm leaving time for my kids to come make this video and they ain't gonna get the views that this guy gets. But the sacrifices we make to make content, we should get paid for it. He should get paid for it. I think he should make a living, make a good living off of what he does. And I think him trying to go to the networks is a bad move, in my opinion. I think if you're on YouTube and TikTok, you can make it happen on there. Final words, go ahead.
No, I completely agree. I think if you get into anything with Hollywood, television, anything, you're already selling.
P. Diddy, you say the rest. Ain't nobody who wants to be a Hollywood star at this point? Weinstein, Epstein. Exactly. I got to be quiet with the Steens over here, y'all. Got to be careful because with that.
The Steens and the Bergs will come for you.
Yeah, it's all controlled by these people, y'all. So I don't know. Go ahead, sis. Yeah. Final words.
I was just gonna I was just going to say that it will completely. I think if he was to go into the Hollywood route of things, I think it'll completely diminish what he's trying to do. And I don't see why. He's successful at this. So what? You have people from the Bay Area that hate you. Oh, well, I just think that I like just watching the content that he does now.
Yeah. We wish him the best of success, y'all. Let us know what you think in the comments. This video went longer than we thought, but man, it's pretty interesting. I feel bad for the guy, y'all. It only takes, a little slant in the content creation, a mishap, a Trump hat, the wrong saying, phrase to get you hated by your own people, your whole audience turning their back on you, y'all. And that's just a simple matter of the fact. You're an American, you're a patriot, you got grit, act like it. We're out.